Start streaming. No presentations?
No presentations.
Excellent. Turn off this. All right, I'm gonna edit the website and just Teams me if you need me.
Okay, Jamie.
Okay, A, meeting opening, A1, call to order, A2, adoption of the agenda. Are there any consent agenda items that a board member would like to have discussed as an action item? Do I have a motion that the governing board adopt the meeting agenda?
I move
that we
to,
adopt tonight's agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Solario.
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Oropeza. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
B, executive session. B1, call for executive session. A call for a motion that the governing board enter into executive session. Do you have a motion?
I move that we enter into executive session.
Thank you, Mr. Oropeza. Do I have a second? I'll second. Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, move into executive.
are going to reconvene. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We have no public comments this evening, so we will move to the consent agenda. Accept a motion to approve the consent agenda. Items E2, payroll expense vouchers, E3, sole source provider, 4, sole source providers, E5, Maricopa County Department of Health Immunization Partnership Amendment, E6, Alhambra Preschool Academy, 7, personnel actions.
I move that the board approve consent agenda items to E2 through E7.
Thank you. I need a second.
I second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. We could have Ms. Melissa Gonzalez up.
Good evening, Madam President O'Neill France, Governing Board. It gives me such a great pleasure tonight to be able to be up here. Based on your approval of our consent agenda item, I have the opportunity to announce the new principal for Sevilla East School for the 2021-2022 school year. This individual has been a part of the Alhambra family for some time, starting her career as a third grade teacher. She has experienced a variety of positions in her journey into leadership, and as most recently as the outreach coordinator of Carol G. Peck School. She shines and definitely leads with her heart, and please join me in congratulating Erica Tui.
Good evening, Madam President O'Neill France, Governing Board members. I am honored to have been selected to join the Sevilla community that is known for its close relationships and commitment to educating the whole child. What I want you to know is that I lead with my heart, and I always keep kindness and integrity at the forefront of everything that I do. My goal is to serve the Sevilla community by ensuring that inclusion, equity, and celebration of diversity is at the heart of everything that we do. My husband and 2 daughters were not able to be here tonight. My daughter is getting ready for a dress rehearsal for a performance that she's in. So my husband's doing hair and makeup, and I can't wait to see how that turns out when I get home. But I'm honored to be here with my Alhambra family tonight. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to serve the Sevilla staff, students, and families. I can't wait to get started on this wonderful journey. Thank you so much.
Okay, F, Human Resources, F1, Superintendent's Evaluation and Performance Pay. A call for a motion that the Governing Board modify, amend, waive, or approve the Superintendent's annual evaluation measures and pay for performance plan for the 2020-2021 academic year.
We amend the plan 2020-21 academic year. Start over again.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Oropeza. Any discussion?
I suppose a quick comment just for transparency. This is a similar amendment to what we've done for principals and teachers. And so because of COVID in the last year, a lot of the evaluation measures had to be amended. And so this is in line with that.
Thank you, Mr. Ortega. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
To G, new business. G1, issues for delegate assembly consideration for the 2022 political agenda. I call for a motion that the governing board approve and submit their top priorities for the delegate assembly consideration for the 2022 political agenda. Do you have a motion?
That we submit delegate assembly consideration political agenda.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Conchas. Do I, any discussion?
Looked at what had been submitted in the past, recommended some changes. They're pretty minimal. The first priority that we had last year, folks, about fully funding full-day kindergarten, suggested that we expand that to not only include full-day kindergarten. Been practicing how to talk louder.
You can take your mask off.
Oh, that's idea. All right, let's do that. Oh, yes. I was suggesting that we expand that to not just kindergarten, but fully fund early childhood programs to include preschool and all-day kindergarten. And my rationale for that is, as research shows, that attention to the needs of students, especially those who come from minority areas, or I guess that's what I'll say, definitely benefit from having a high-quality early childhood program, which is not just all-day kindergarten, but also preschool to get them ready for it. I know, too, that research shows that the educational advantages that come from that tend to fall off after third grade, but once they get into high school and then into their work lives after high school, you see a lot of benefits from those early childhood programs in the way that the children have learned to be a part of the workforce. There's less recidivism as far as people returning to jail and prisons. So money spent on early childhood, not just all-day kindergarten and preschool, is very important. Will we keep going? And the second one that we had last year was preserve and strengthen local control. I think that's still something that we need to still fight for. The third one was about special education funding, and I broadened that to provide funding for special education that is equitable to the cost of the services provided. As many of you know, the cost of providing services that are spelled out in an individualized education plan, very costly depending on what the needs of the student are. There's a very vast difference in the cost of providing services for a child that needs speech and language services to a child that is wheelchair bound or has autism. And right now, we do not get enough funding to provide all the services that are required through an IEP, which means that we have to take money out of the pot for general education in order to meet our needs in the area of special education funding. So I think it's important that we keep the pressure on, that if we're required to provide those programs, and rightfully we should, that we should have the funding to provide them adequately. Just a second here. Number 4. I don't think I made any changes to number 4, did I?
You did.
Oh, I'm on the wrong sheet, sorry. Number 4 was to support policies that protect school district employees and students from anti-racist practices and policies that support inclusion, equity, and access for all. I just broadened the context of what was stated last year. And my rationale for that is that public schools have the responsibility to create safe and enriching spaces that value the unique attributes, experiences, and identity of our students and staff. It is more, last year, the statement addressed discrimination, and I think it's more than discrimination. I think it's, we do address that whole issue of systemic racism. So therefore, I was suggesting that we broaden this statement. And number 5 was the one about providing counselors. Again, I broadened it from last year. This year, I said we should provide programs that provide counselors and programs that support social and emotional growth in our students and staff. And my rationale for that is we've been through a very difficult time. We've always had students and staff members that have social and emotional problems, but with what we've been through in the last 18 months with COVID and isolation in homes and stress that's been put on families, I think we're having an ever increasing amount of need for that kind of service in our schools. Recently, as a district, have put out a survey asking our parents what kind of services they need in conjunction with Touchstone, which I think is a step in the right direction. I do also feel, though, that the Arizona School Board Association, if they're developing, presenting political agenda items, they need to address that very strongly. I think that was all I wrote. Man, I was wordy. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Thank you. I just wanted to kind of explain to Mr. Conchas and Mr. Oropesa. So what I provided with you, the little packet that I provided with you showed that Ms. De Ocampo's proposed suggested changes. The second behind that was the 2021 political agenda that actually ASBA, which is where these suggestions will go to, which is what they put out. The second thing that you'll see, it starts with number 1. It says top 5 priorities. Those are the ones that we submitted last year. And behind that are the ones that were submitted the previous year, which were quite extensive. But you see that the previous year and last year are fairly similar, just based on not meeting, having COVID protocols. What you need to do is just, you can choose to keep them as is, make any changes Ms. De Ocampo suggested, and then we fill it out electronically and submit it. Do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I really appreciate Ms. De Ocampo's work on this, and I fully agree with all the rationale that Ms. De Ocampo provided. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Aye. G- G2 update information discussion regarding superintendent search. The governing board met in executive session yesterday to determine finalists for the AESD superintendent search. The board has recommended 3 candidates to move forward as finalists. This evening, at the conclusion of the meeting, the public will have an opportunity to view and comment on the 3 candidates. Please go to the Alhambra website where you will find the virtual public forum video links, as well as the links to the public comment survey opportunity. A communication will be sent out to the Alhambra community regarding the virtual public forum from the District Communications Department. Next week, the governing board will interview the 3 candidates to determine a finalist. Move to H, informational items. H1, Alhambra Foundation for the Future scholarship recipients. The board would like to recognize and congratulate the 2021 Alhambra Foundation for the Future scholarship recipients. H2, the financial report was submitted. You will find that in your documents. I, comments and communication from comments from the governing board members.
Comments? Usually the Foundation for the Future Scholarship presentation is one of my favorite things to really kind of it shows the just the fantastic job that our staff and our teacher district does to support our students to make it to this stage in their life. I'm always glad to see the future teachers on this list. I think the first name on the list was a teacher, which is always exciting. So if we can just keep tabs on that student all the way through so that they end up working here. And also I saw a future architect in there too. So I will definitely keep my recruiting eyes at that student as they progress. But definitely, very proud of our students, and it speaks volumes of who we are as a community and what we value as a district, and the continuing support outside of when they leave our campuses and move on. And yeah, I wish I could be here in person and see all the students with their families, and just wishing them the best moving forward. I'd like to make a comment as well. I am a Alhambra Foundation for a Future scholarship recipient. I believe class of 1999. And so like Mr. Solara, I was scanning for biomedical and I can see a couple there. And so I very much appreciate it. Even before I was on the position of the board, that was one of the first questions that I asked about the program. And so I'm excited to see that it expanded from 2020. Once we get into a groove, I've made it a personal note to continue to work to expand that program. We've had some programs in the past that helped fund that, and so I'm looking forward to continue to expanding that and to see the outcome of what that program can offer for our future students.
Two comments. First of all, I want to recognize Candace Green, Sevilla West, on the Barrymore. Recognized creativity, but her creativity was in COVID and managed to go on 40 virtual dollars worth of school supplies. That's for students to have art supplies that wouldn't necessarily have them. Kudos to her. I think that's an indicator of compassion, the dedication, the commitment that our staff has. Then I wanted to also commend Ms. Herrera for expanding the services in the preschool program and here in Alhambra to provide some more support in the area of social, emotional, providing areas for that kind of work to take place at that center.
I would like to acknowledge our marketing department and say that you all are doing a very good job, and really appreciate all the innovation that's happening in that department. There will be, we received an update, and there will be a email blast that goes to over 100,000 people. So that I just want to say good job, and look forward to continue supporting that work. And also, I will be attending my first 8th grade promotion next week. And so to all of our 8th graders and their families, I just want to say thank you for trusting Alhambra with your education. And we hope that we continue seeing those 8th graders being involved in our district. And just a great achievement. So congratulations to all of those 8th graders and their families. Thank you.
First of all, I want to say we will not be seeing each other, or you won't be hearing from us before you leave for the summer break for some of you. This has been a very challenging year, and I'm not going to name every staff, every department, because I'll forget somebody. So all the staff, I hope that you have time at some point, because I know some of you are 12-month. I think I'm staring at a few of you. I hope that you have time to take for yourself and your family to rest and rejuvenate, because you need it. You worked so hard last summer. I don't even know if you took time to breathe, but I do know you were running on empty. And so please take time this summer to rejuvenate, please. We appreciate every effort that every staff member in this district has done. You came through like shining stars, truly. I cannot thank you enough, and I truly believe that all the four here are saying the exact same thing. I really hope you seriously take some time off. Please put the time in now while Mr. Eastless is here, and then he can approve it, and you won't have to worry about the new superintendent not giving it to you. That's my suggestion. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, thank you from truly from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate every little thing, the smallest, that provided support for our kiddos. Thank you very much. And then I want to just take this minute, and I think I've done it before, but I'm going to do it again. I want to thank my board. I might cry. I am so blessed to sit up here with four members who are so committed to this district. And I want to thank each and every one of you for sitting here with me and everything that you do for this district, because you give your effort too, and I appreciate you so much. So those are my two thank yous for this evening. Moving to I2, governing board direction and/or agenda item requests. I would like to request that we have the resolution for racism on possibly the June 10th agenda.
Thank you. I worked with Ms. Ragland today, and
Thank you, and thank you for putting that together and working with her on that. I3, comments from the superintendent and executive team.
Madam President O'Neill France, Governing Board, I am excited to update you with our summer school initiative. We have, as we like to say and are saying a lot around here, a very robust summer school initiative moving forward. We are going to have our students come in both in June and July. We have 3 opportunities for kids to be able to recover in some of their gaps over this time. They can come in person, they can still be distance learners, or if they're so motivated, they can actually be asynchronous learners. And we do have staff that will check in with them, talk to them, make sure they're on track. We also have our transportation services, our food and nutrition services, but this year, for the first time ever, we also have counselors on board to support our kids during summer school. Well, before you applause too much, we also are in the middle of building an initiative to where we have counselor support, basically an SEL helpline. So on the off hours of summer school, there will still be a way for students who just need to talk to somebody to reach out and to connect with one of our counselors. So big initiatives. And now I'd like to pass it over to Ms. Billy.
Thank you. President O'Neill France and governing board members, I'd like to tag on to Melissa Gonzalez's announcement and just give you a few details about our child nutrition services. We will be providing summer food service to all of our students who are in summer school. They will be receiving breakfast and lunch. And then in addition, we will have meals to go sites continuing at select sites for our distance learners and for the greater community. So we're very excited to be able to continue providing support at that level, and they will be working all summer with a little bit of vacation. In addition, the grown-ups are going to be just as busy as the kids. Construction at AOA and the Arizona K-8 Online Academy and our Choice Learning Academy will be wrapping up this summer so that we are ready for August. And construction will be starting at Valencia, Gap, and ALC. Thank you. And Westwood. So that's very exciting news. And we also have in the works 3 accessible playgrounds, 1 to be placed at the Alhambra Preschool Center. And along with that, Grown-ups will be working on smartboard projector refresh, parking lots, painting, polished concrete at all of our sites. So it will be a very busy summer, and we will be ready for kids in August. I want to leave you with a little celebration. We hosted in partnership with the RV Charities, which we are very fortunate to partner with, an event for families at Granada West. As a result of that partnership, we can be very proud of 52 community and family members tested, 89 vaccinations, and 42 food boxes. So I'm very, very pleased to partner with the RVSU Charities because they really, truly do align with our vision and mission, and they wrap right around those families, and they don't waste an opportunity to pass out whatever a family might need in that moment. We're very fortunate that we have another event with them on the horizon. It will be at GIA early in June, like I think 12th. So very, very excited about what's going on in El. It'll be a busy summer, but we promise we'll get a bit of rest. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez and Ms. Billiou. J, meeting closed. J1, next governing board meeting is June 10th, 2021. J2, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Conchas. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Oropeza. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.